Ever find yourself losing your cool and calmness when life gets crazy? We've all been there, losing our calm composure when stress and chaos seem unavoidable. Staying calm and composed, no matter what life throws your way, that's the superpower Stoic philosophy teaches. With Stoicism as your guide, you'll learn to let go of what you can't control, focus solely on what you can, and approach adversity as an opportunity, not a curse. You'll get to learn how to change the way you respond to stress, anger, loss, and life's other inevitable tests. These 13 ancient principles, practiced by great thinkers like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, will provide a practical roadmap for facing every situation with steadiness and wisdom. 1. See things objectively. One of Stoicism's core principles is not getting hung up on things beyond your control. The Stoics recognize that we often suffer more from our judgments about events than the events themselves. As Epictetus said, it's not things that upset us, but our judgments about things. Imagine you're stuck in traffic and going to be late. You could get enraged, pounding the steering wheel, heart pounding. Or you could calmly accept the situation, put on a podcast, and make the best use of your time. The flat tire itself didn't cause distress. It was your reaction to it. Training yourself to respond rather than just react takes constant practice. When something frustrating happens, pause, breathe deeply. Ask yourself, is this as catastrophic as my mind is making it seem? What story am I telling myself here? Can I look at this from a wider perspective? 2. Focus only on what you can control. Much of our angst comes from agonizing over factors utterly beyond our influence. Why fret endlessly over the economy, your co-workers' annoying habits, or political issues on the other side of the world? As Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Make a list of things you truly can control. Your thoughts, judgments, reactions, choices, and efforts. That's your sphere of influence. Everything else, other people's behavior, health issues, natural disasters, past mistakes, is outside it. Put your energy towards what's within your control. When you catch your mind looping over externalities, gently bring it back. Ask yourself, can I actually directly impact this, or am I wasting my efforts? Free yourself from struggling against the unchangeable. 3. Practice voluntary discomfort. Demand not that events should happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do, and you will go on well. The Stoics didn't seek to avoid all hardship and difficulty. Instead, they voluntarily exposed themselves to manageable discomforts and circumstances they didn't prefer. This built their resilience, mental toughness muscles. You could start small, go for a walk in cold weather without a coat. Avoid your favorite snack, take an unusually cold shower. Or try more significant challenges like fasting, camping without amenities, or hiking with a heavy pack. 4. Avoid unhealthy attachments. The Stoics saw our attachments to impermanent externals, status, relationships, belongings, as the root of much anxiety and suffering. We cling desperately, forgetting that we're merely borrowing these things from an indifferent universe for a short time. To reduce this attachment, try objectifying your prized possessions and life circumstances, regarding them with the same detached attitude as borrowing library books. Appreciate them while they're present, but don't believe you truly own them. Or imagine everything you currently have being taken away. Visualize losing your home, job, or loved ones vividly. As unsettling as it feels, it reinforces the realization that you're not ultimately defined or guaranteed by these externals. Your wholeness comes from within. Free yourself from enslavement to the material and temporary. As the ancient words remind us, the universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. 5. Contemplate your mortality. Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Seneca. One of the Stoics' most impactful practices was meditating vividly on worst-case scenarios: loss, poverty, death of loved ones, their own demise. They'd force themselves to imagine experiencing these inevitabilities, preemptively acclimating to their imaginings. It may seem morbid, but frequently contemplating your mortality actually liberates you to fully embrace the present moment. You viscerally appreciate each day, as a unique gift when you internalize how fragile and fleeting it really is. Try this. Spend time at a cemetery or even an emergency room or cancer ward. Let the sight of human vulnerability sink in. As unsettling as it feels initially, it heightens your gratitude for this one precious life you've been given. Then try a dress rehearsal. Lie in a box or sit alone in the dark and quiet. Imagine this is your final moment and experience the exercise with every sense fully alive and accepting. Return to daily living, reborn. 6. Allow nature's flow. That which is against nature cannot be made good by praise. Have you noticed how trees shed leaves without resistance, rivers calmly accept changing flows, and nature in general flows with life's ebbs and tides? The Stoics aimed for this graceful, non-judgmental acceptance of nature's unfolding rhythms. We humans constantly grasp and resist impermanence, railing fruitlessly against the one immutable truth: all things change. We fear uncertainty, yearn for stability, and dread upheavals. Breathe and attune yourself more to nature's balanced detachment. Open your windows to vividly hear birds, winds, cycles of light and dark. Feel yourself as a temporary blossom whose purpose is to thrive and then make way for new growth. Observe trees' tranquil release of leaves, resolving to mirror that lack of clinging. The wise surrender to the sacred dance of life rather than fighting it. As Lao Tzu taught, life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Don't resist them. That only creates sorrow. 7. Question your assumptions. If anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses about what is said of you, but answer, "He was ignorant of my other faults, else he would not have mentioned these alone." We often react automatically based on long-held beliefs and assumptions about people, events, and ideas. Mental programming so deeply grooved we don't even question it. The Stoics prided themselves on ruthlessly examining their judgments and preconceptions. Whenever you notice yourself having a strong emotional reaction, pause. Dig into the root beliefs causing it. Are they still valid when viewed rationally? Where did you first acquire these assumptions? The next time someone says or does something you instinctively interpret negatively, breathe. Actively question your perspective before responding. Could you be misreading intentions? Might other factors be obscuring the bigger picture here? Challenge everything. Remain vigilantly skeptical of your knee-jerk judgments. Once you get adept at catching and diffusing your assumptions, you cultivate a profound inner freedom. 8. Embrace impermanence. Do every act of your life as though it were the very last act of your life. To an untrained eye, a sunrise is an ordinary, unremarkable routine rather than the breathtaking cosmic masterpiece it truly is. The Stoics worked to dispel this phenomenon of life's richness, becoming mundane and ignored. When you attune yourself to existence's ephemeral, fleeting nature, you live with childlike wonder. Each pleasure, sight, and experience regains its specialness. You no longer take beauty and gifts for granted. When you taste your morning coffee or a delicious meal, become hyper-aware of the intricate flavors and sensations. Study your loved ones' faces when they laugh, as if trying to memorize them perfectly. Gaze at spring blossoms as they fleetingly emerge, and see them as fragile art whisked away on the wind. 9. Choose your response. While we cannot control every situation life brings, the Stoics knew we always have sovereign power over how we respond to it. When something annoying or upsetting occurs, we have a split-second choice: to react emotionally and impulsively, or to pause and respond with reason. Notice when you feel an emotional flare-up of frustration, anger, or anxiety. That is the moment to stop, take a conscious breath and decide, am I going to get hijacked by my knee-jerk reaction here? Or can I exhibit a more thoughtful, philosophical response aligned with my core values? With practice, you can catch yourself earlier and earlier, before tumbling into the usual emotional reactivity. You create a space between stimulus and response where your wiser self can take charge and your buttons are much harder to push. The next time someone insults or mistreats you, don't fire back in anger. Pause, then choose to respond with empathy or gentle honesty. Life's turbulence cannot overthrow your peace unless you surrender your power over how you respond. 10. Limit excessive desires. What makes us rave is the opinion that we cannot survive unless we possess every good thing. The Stoics warned that runaway desire and insatiable cravings for more external pleasures are a key driver of human misery and lack of peace. When our happiness depends on acquiring something we don't have, whether status, relationships, or material goods, we are forever slaves to that desire. Make a short list of only what you absolutely need to survive and be healthy: air, water, food, shelter. Chances are your most fevered desires, that sports car, high-powered job, or romantic fantasy, aren't actually essential to living well. When you feel yourself grasping and craving mindlessly, stop and get present. Observe the desire rising and passing like a cloud, without clinging to it. Distinguish insatiable wants from rational needs, and focus solely on sufficiently fulfilling the latter. Like a bonfire, our desires are healthiest when tempered and reduced down to a calm, glowing ember. As Seneca counseled, "The great blessings of mankind are within us and within our reach. It is only we who wander and go astray." 11. Be virtuous. No one is ever good by chance. Virtue results from the willful choice of a disciplined intellect. While we can't control everything that happens, we can control how virtuously we operate within it. The Stoics saw living with courage, temperance, justice, and wisdom as the highest pursuit and what ultimately grants unshakable tranquility. Throughout each day, periodically pause and ask, what is the most virtuous response here? What would someone acting with integrity and good character do in this situation? Often it's not the impulsive path of cowardice or vice. Maybe the courageous act is speaking an unpopular truth, even if it's uncomfortable. Or temperance is walking away from that indulgent temptation. Justice is defending someone being mistreated, even if it's not your battle. The more you strengthen this mental ethic of always striving for virtue, the less you'll be jerked around by turbulent emotions and short-sighted impulsions. You cultivate an unshakable core of righteous character that transcends superficial circumstances. 12. Practice gratitude. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. While the Stoics encouraged separating our happiness from transient externals, they also deeply valued appreciating life's simple but easily overlooked daily blessings and pleasures. We become jaded, unmindful consumers of the world's astonishing richness. Make a routine of punctuating each day by truly savoring and giving thanks for small wonders. The warm massage of sunlight on your skin, the intoxicating fragrance of springtime blooms, the earthy crunch and flavor of a humble meal. These humble miracles surround us always. Appreciate too your senses themselves, the unfathomable gift of sight, allowing you to behold beauty, the caress of skin on skin and a lover's laugh. Thank the marvel of consciousness itself, animating your fleeting existence. As Cicero wrote, gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. 13. Keep learning and growing. If you don't learn these things to make yourself more resilient, don't complain if you get knocked over by a strong wind or mauled by the movements of fortune. The Stoics were students of life and nature, endlessly seeking to expand their wisdom and mastery over the only thing truly in their control, their own judgments, reactions, and character. We can't control what knocks or storms life blows our way, but like a sturdy oak tree, we can keep strengthening our roots and flexible resilience through study and self-development. Read voraciously across fields and disciplines with the humility to glean lessons everywhere, as the Stoics did. Make space for stillness and contemplation to integrate realizations. Question all your assumptions and blind spots. Most of all, seek wisdom by learning from your own experiences and errors with radical self-honesty. Analyze reactions, test new practices, course correct from miscues. Engage life as your greatest teacher. As Epictetus said, only the educated are free. Free yourself from reactive patterns and inner demons by constantly evolving your understanding. Growth and tranquility are two sides of the same endless path. If you have made it this far, comment down below with the word 100% to confirm that you have received the knowledge from this video. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.